Welcome everyone to the mini test of the lesson 5 quadratic equations. The first task asked us to factor quadratic equations. So we have x squared plus 11x plus 24. We know that 24 can be written as a multiplication of 3 and 8, and the 11 is the sum of 3 and 8. So simple and easy. X minus 8 times x minus 3 is 0, x1 is 3, x2 is 8. For example number 2, this one is slightly harder, but we can just do this step by step. So we have 3x squared plus 2x minus 8. We take the x out of the first two terms. So we have two brackets of sorts, x times another bracket with x. And now we see that if we got something multiplied with x plus 2 here, so if we multiply this with a 3a, for instance, then we could take 3 out as well, and we would be left with x plus 2. And 8 is divisible by 2, so we could technically get something like x minus 2 or x plus 2 from the right side, like from the last two terms as well. So we have to find out if we can add or subtract something, or even break apart a term that would allow us to combine two terms to get x plus 2 or x minus 2, and the other two terms to get the same result. So I already did the math here. 2x can be broken apart as 6x minus 4x. And if we paste this in here, we see that if we take 3x from the first two terms and minus 4 from the second two, we would get x plus 2 on both. And now we just combine like terms, and we get x plus 2, 3x minus 4, which gives us the solution x1 is minus 2, and x2 is 4/3. Hopefully this was understood. If you had any problems, you could use other methods, but factoring like this is a very good way to learn how to solve harder problems, even if you can't find an alternative method. Of course, if the teacher asks for factoring, you have to use factoring. You could use other methods if you find them easier, if the task didn't specify factoring. So do keep that in mind. Next up, we have x squared minus 25. We see that this is a difference of squares. Simple equation, x minus 5, x plus 5. The solutions are minus 5 and plus 5. There's nothing much more to be said about this, right? Now, we have to solve this by completing the square. So I already went ahead and solved it, my bad. X squared plus 4x plus 1 is 0. We see that we need 4 as the a squared if you want it that way. So if we add plus minus 3, we get 1 plus 3 is 4, and we have the square on the left, and minus 3 is remaining. We get that square, we move 3 to the right, we root it all, plus minus on the root, we move 2 to the right, and these are our two solutions. Now for the big example, x squared minus 12x plus 30 is 0. We see that 12 if divided by 2x gives us minus 6, which if squared gives us 36. So if we add and subtract 6, we get 36 minus 6. We get the square on the left, we move the minus 6 to the right, we get 6 plus on the right. We again apply the root, plus minus, move the minus 6 to the right, we have 6 plus minus square root of 6. Solving is more important than the result in this case, because it's easier to see if you made mistakes during the process compared to the result. If the result is wrong, it's wrong. You have to go back and see what you did wrong. But if I go step by step, you can see where you went wrong and you can fix it from that point forward. Completing the square, I have 2x squared plus 8x minus 6. I divide by 2. I get x squared plus 4x minus 3. And now I see that if I divide this by 2x, I get 2. 2 squared is 4. And since this is a plus, we need this to be a plus. So plus 4 has to come from this. I could do plus minus 4, but if I just do plus 7 and make it as simple as possible, also okay. So I add plus 7 and we are left with minus 7. We would probably get the same if we just did the 4 thingy. We're left with plus 4 on the left and 7 on the right. The square and the 7. We rooted and moved the 2 to the right. We get plus minus root of 7 minus 2. Next up, we use quadratic formula on equations. First one is x squared plus 5x plus 6 is 0. I paste the numbers into the formula. Hopefully you still remember it. I put it up here next to the solution so it's easier for you to follow along if you did remember it wrong. But we put minus 5 plus minus square root of 25 minus 4 times 6 is 24, so 25 minus 24. We get 2 times 1 under the line, so minus 5 plus minus 1, which gives us minus 6 squares, which gives us, if we use minus for the first one and plus for the second one, we get minus 6 halves and minus 4 halves, which is minus 3 and minus 2. As for example B, we have 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. We insert the numbers for top and bottom. Minus 3 becomes plus 3, plus minus square root of 9, minus 4 times 2 times 1. The bottom of the fraction is 2 times 2. We get 3 plus minus, again, square root of 1. We get 3 plus minus 1 divided by 4. 3 plus 1 divided by 4, and 3 minus 1 divided by 4. 4 fourths, 2 fourths, 1 and 1 half. Now, 4x squared plus 4x plus 5 is 0. Hopefully you came across a problem. In this case, if you didn't come across a problem, you did something wrong. Because 16 minus 4 times 5, that's like what, 80? That is a negative number. And we know that if a discriminant is negative, we have complex roots. So we have to write this as it has no real solutions, aka the graph, since it's positive a, is upward facing and it's located above the x-axis with no intersections, meaning that the result written is x is not an element of R for the zeros. Now, converting between the forms, into the standard form from the factored. This one is very simple, just multiply each part with each other part. So x times x, x times 7, minus 2 times x, minus 2 times 7. We get this. We add together the x's, we add together the x squared, we add together numbers, and this is the final formula. Into the vertex form, we can either combine to full square or complete the square, or just use the plus minus b divided by 2a squared. This is also another symbol for squared. So this roof here, either you write it like this or you write it like this. If I already paste the numbers in, so 4 is b and 1 is a, we get plus minus minus 2 squared. So that's 4, plus minus 4. We combine together these three terms to get the square, and then we combine 15 and 4 to get minus 19. And we just write this down with y separately, and this is our vertex form. Now, from standard into factored, I would say, I would give you like a from factored to vertex or vice versa, but that just means you have to convert into standard and to the other one, unless you know a shortcut, which I don't think you need, because if you ever do, the conversions are relatively fast on their own. Okay, into the factored form, we just gotta factor it. That's simple. Minus 3 is minus a times b, and 2 is a plus b. And if you calculate it correctly, if you take away 1 from 3, you get 2. If you multiply minus 1 times 3, you get minus 3. Simple, nothing much to say. Now, analyze the problems. Here you didn't have to solve them, unless specified otherwise. You just have to determine for the first part the number and the type of zeros. So if there are two complex zeros, if there are two real zeros, or if there is one double zero or the vertex. So we get the discriminant. We paste in the b squared minus 4ac, so 4 minus 4 times 1 times 1. We get 0, so we have one double real solution. Maybe this is a comma missing here. AKA the vertex is located on the x-axis. Now we have to solve for zeros here, so we have to use the top and bottom. I paste minus 5 plus minus 5 squared is 25 minus 4 times 2 times 3 divided by 2 times 2. We get minus 5 plus minus 1 again, and 2 times 2 is 4. Minus 5 plus 1 is 4, minus 5 minus 1 is minus 6. Then we just divide, and we get minus 1 and minus 3 halves. Pretty simple. The most math you'd have to do on the fifth one, probably. And the C, I think this is the last one. Determine the type of solutions, so you don't even have to know if there are 1 or 2, you just have to know if 4ac is greater than b squared. So that's literally it. You don't have to know if it's 0 or 0.5 or 1. No, literally just real or complex. So insert the numbers here. 4 squared is 16, and 4 times 5 times 3 is whatever that is, like 60. So it's 16 minus 60, that's minus 44. Discriminant is less than 0, so you have 2 complex solutions. Just complex solutions will be fine. That's it. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to today's lesson and this mini test solving. I hope it went well. If it didn't, you can rewatch the video with the timestamps, or if you want to learn it, actually, go ahead and learn from a book. As I said, my videos are meant to spark an interest in you guys. So I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible. Maybe I should change it from education to introduction to science, because my education is just surface level topics and knowledge. Maybe when I get to physics I can dive a bit more into depth, but until then I'm just covering basic math surface topics. But yeah, somehow that's enough. Some people actually like this, and I'm glad. As long as it helps some of you and you know where to go next, that's fine for me. My goal achieved. Thank you so much and have a good day. See ya.